in terms of business and political strategy, of course, what do you think is holding back African and people of African origin from truly, I mean, truly connecting? Because we need to truly, not partially connect, we need to really truly connect and build on it, on interests that are collective for us. So what do you see to be the major setback against this?
Yeah, we're holding on too tight to the European model. We know that before the Europeans came into the African continent, we were all right by ourselves and on our own. We did what we needed to do tribally. We were who we needed to be economically, and our children never wanted or suffered for anything. Now we have relied so much on the European model that we're happy when we go to Yale and Harvard and Oxford rather than the University of Gambia. We're I see it on LinkedIn. We post all of our strategies that are recognized by the European force. But if somebody in our own country recognizes us, we'll just put it as in our bio or something. We are so drawn to the European model that we've forgotten how powerful we are. We come from kings and queens and royalty in our own right, but the only one we know is Queen Elizabeth. Really? Really? They modeled their royalty after us. If you look back, there were Africans in their lineage, if they want to admit the whole truth. And I'm not against Europeans. I just believe that there is a place, there is a time, and there is a structure that needs to belong to the African people. I've always asked myself, why did you come over to the African continent to get people to help you build the United States? What was wrong with bringing your own people over from Spain and Europe and the Eastern Bloc? What was wrong with bringing people from Spain on those boats? Why did you have to stop off in Africa and pick up people to go to the United States and build the United States? If you really wanted to colonize a land, why didn't you bring your own people? Why did you need people from another land? And why did you think it was okay to come get us? So these are the things that we now rely on because we're so used and so hell-bent on believing that their role is right. We have our own banks. Why don't we have more of them? We have our own hospitals. Why don't we build more of them? One of the things that I'm doing proudly is going into the African continent and building maternal care centers for women. Because if women don't keep having babies, whatever we call as a population and society is going to die quicker if we don't have mothers having babies and successful babies, not just having babies and having one baby and the mother dies, or having one baby and it's sickly and she will never reproduce. We're talking about having mothers have multitudes of babies and they live and they meet their milestones and they meet their mile markers in life and they grow up and they have healthy babies. That is the only way society is going to continue. So what I'm doing is making sure that there are maternal care facilities all over Africa. And we have 8 countries so far that has bought into our plan and is going to give us land so that we can build these. And many more are coming once they find out about other countries. And they're going to allow us to be in this perspective because this is where they know that the vitality and the vulnerability business-wise is going to better us. If we don't have people being born, we're going to have a country full of people that will get old and die. And that's it. There will be no more people from Cameroon. There will be no more people from Lesotho. There will be no more people from the Gambia because the women are not having babies. So one part of my business model is to make sure that women are getting the health care, the proper hygiene and protocols, the proper acumen in the ethics and the integrity, and then the proper medical care that is needed and necessary for them in their land where they are and accessible to it without fear of inaccessibility to financial status. And this is one of the biggest things that we're doing in the Federation of International Gender and Human Rights. We're lessening the separatism that is happening. Because if we don't start letting go of that European model, we will always be stuck in that separatism. We have to begin to build our own on a consistent and congruent basis that we can keep up with and hold true to be self-evident. That's the only way we're going to get away from this model and the only way we will be self-sufficient as a people.
Absolutely. And this is very important. It's very, very important because if there are no young ones, then the society, of course, that is the end of it, is dead. So we as a people, we cannot afford that. We cannot afford that setback at this time.
Right.
Now, of course, at the middle of this, like we were saying in the beginning of this podcast, had to do with education. So that led me to the next question, which is about information, because information is also very important for us as a people. So, how do you see the flow of quality information among us? Because now, if you're in business, one thing you will realize, especially in this days that we are talking of big data, data information, data economy, and all that, you see that it's something that is really lacking in parts of Africa. In fact, in major part of Africa, in most part of Africa, we really lack data, no? And this sort of inhibit the kind of business that you can do. And in the diaspora, of course, there are data here, but sometimes we are not in control of it. So, but of course, we do have access to information. Maybe not all of us have access to this quality information, but if we share among us, then more people can have access to quality information. Because when you know, you cannot unknow what you already know. So it is very important that we know what we're supposed to know so that we can take the right action. So how do you see the flow of quality information? What do you think we should do to make sure that, like you were saying before, we're not just there dancing to some irrelevant music, but we're also spending our time to assess the right and quality information that can help us. Because all this information are there. Go to YouTube. The internet is available for us. So how do we cue ourselves into those areas?
Correct. Well, first of all, we are in the age of information. We have more ways to communicate now than we ever have in the history of the world. We have more models to be able to connect. One of the things that I tell my daughter is I said, in this age of information, there's no reason why I shouldn't know that you got in the house okay. There's no reason why you can't pick up the phone and call, text, Skype, email, Zoom, something that allows me to know that you're okay, that the kids are okay. You say you're busy, but you can, go to the bathroom and sit on the toilet and send a text to somebody. So the age of information is here. And there is no excuse why we can't connect and network. But there's a difference between the word data and the word analytics. Now let's talk about that for a minute. Data and analytics. Data is the information that you collect. Analytics is how you use it. Okay. A lot of us don't own our own data. If I go into the hospital right now, they're going to take my name, my date of birth, my social security number, my blood type. They're going to get my children's information, my next of kin in case I die. They're going to find out what I'm allergic to, what my diet is. So if I stay overnight, they'll know what type of foods to give me. And then they'll even I'll have to ask them, how many times have I been in the hospital? And what have I been in the hospital for? That's data, okay? That's information that you gather, you put it into a network, and it spits out analytics. Analytics is how you use it. Now, what does that analytics do? That says in the current time right now, it's going to let me know, one, it's going to hit a drug rep organization. So it'll be Pfizer or Moderna or even Johnson & Johnson, and it'll say, wow, she has an allergy to such and such and such. Well, we have a drug that allows that allergy to be suppressed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send her some emails on this drug because she has an allergy to, I don't know, eggs. So I'm going to send her information on this drug that we have that suppresses that allergy so she can eat eggs. Then it's going to take that information and it's going to send it to NIH, National Institutes of Health, and it's going to say that me as a woman who's 50 something, I've been in the hospital 4 times for, I don't know, hair loss. And I've been in the hospital 4 times for this, and they still haven't gotten a resolution. So now NIH is going to use that data and it's going to couple that with other women that are my age that are suffering from hair loss. And they're going to see all of us are in New York. So now they're going to have a campaign where they're going to call all of the people with pharmaceuticals for hair loss, and they're going to target it in New York because they're going to see the greater demographic of women my age with hair loss is going to be in New York. And they're going to take that information and they're going to use that to see how the placebo or the drug itself did on a research basis for women my age that have hair loss. That analytic, just from the information that I gave from this last hospital visit, they took that and now they market it to drug representatives to come in and do a market research in this area. Now, did I give them permission to do that? Did I sign any form that says that you have the right to take my information and now market this and send my information here and there and take this and they can send me an email? And did I give you permission for that? No, I didn't. I didn't sign any form that gave you permission to do that. But they do that because of their ability to get these analytics out there. This is a marketing, this is a brand. So in business, it's all about the data that you can get to market your greater analytics. And we don't own this data. There is nothing that I can sign in a hospital right now that says that I do not permit you to release this information. There's nothing. The forms that you sign right now give them permission to release this information. Because what did they say? In the event we need to get better treatment for you, we're asking for you to release this information. That's not true. That's not true. They're releasing that information as data to the companies so the analytics can be better in their marketing. It's all in the system that we have. So what do we say? What do we say about that? We say, if we don't create a different system, a better system, a more usable, friendly system that allows us to keep our data, that allows us to give the data that we choose to give to other people when we choose to give it. And if we choose not to give it or rescind that offer, we have that ability. If we don't get that permission and we don't get that feasibility, then we will always have analytics that will be taken outside of the parameters that we design. So I think in data and in the age of information, more to your point, that we have to begin to own our own data, own our own information. And we have to begin to be very resourceful in that, in giving that out. Now, do we give that out over the internet all the time? Absolutely. Every time you hit a website, it goes into Google's analytics and it says a woman that shops at Target is going to shop at Amazon. So Amazon is going to see what I bought and they're going to reduce that price. So the next time I buy it, I'm not going to buy it from Target because Amazon is offering me a lower price. And they're going to reduce it by maybe 10 cents. Nothing big, but enough for me to say, oh, it's cheaper at Amazon than it is at Target. Let me get it at Amazon. So now Amazon used that analytic to get my money to go over to them. We need to do that within our community. We need to find where the lowest deficit is in our community, and we need to take that data and we need to give it to the greater community that's in our area, and we need to have them fortified so everyone is on an equal playing field. When we do that, we will process that information on a strategic level. Remember, I'm always strategic in what we do. And we will process that information so that those that don't have, those that are left behind, pushed behind, or labeled as other, will get the same access and accessibility to those that prosper, that are the majority, and that are given by default. So that will level the playing field so that those that are low in the demographic will be equal to those that have in the demographic. And I think that will make the moral majority more equitable in society.